Assalamu alaikum. This is Mohammad Singh welcoming you all to the English news from Btv-Chattogram. Let's begin with the headlines. More than 1,200 platoons of BGB to be deployed for maintaining law and order, says CEC. The hearing on contempt of court against advocate Fazlur Rahman to be held on Sunday. Over 800 boris of gold jewelry of Sheikh Hasina seized in two lockers at Ogroni Bank by NBR. The government assigns new SPS in 64 districts through lottery ahead of election. Determined and consistent global response can stop Israel in Gaza, says Turkish President Erdogan. And the Bangladesh national women's football team take on Malaysia in first match of Tri-Nation Series at National Stadium in Dhaka. Viewers, those were the headlines. Now moving on to the details. The Chief Election Commissioner A.M.M. Nasiruddin said the law and order situation will return to normal before the 13th National Parliament election. He made the remarks after a rehearsal exercise conducted by the Border Guard Bangladesh BGB to ensure discipline at polling centers during the election and to deal with security issues and any unforeseen situations. After inspecting the rehearsal, the Chief Election Commissioner said he was satisfied with the preparedness of the law and enforcement agencies to ensure a free, peaceful and impartial election. He added that, except for Shongbad, Hatia and Kutubdia, a total of 1,210 platoons of BGP members will work to maintain law and order in 115 upazilas. In the presence of BGP Director General Major General Mohammad Ashrafuzzaman Siddiqui, the CEC told journalists that all necessary measures will be taken to deal with any kind of unexpected incident regarding law and order. The BGP also informed that the election-related training, which began on August 24, will continue until January 2022-2026. A total of 36,000 BGP members will be deployed to maintain law and order during the election. A hearing on the charge of serious contempt of court against advocate Fazlur Rahman will be held on Sunday for making derogatory remarks about the tribunal and its verdict, including a comment regarding the verdict against Sheikh Hasina. The International Crimes Tribunal 1 issued this order today after a preliminary hearing on the complaint submitted by the prosecution. On November 23, during a program on a private television channel, Advocate Fazlur Rahman stated he does not accept the tribunal's verdict. Prosecutor Ghazi M.H. Tamim said, refusing to accept the tribunal's verdict clearly constitutes contempt of court. Prosecutor Mizanul Islam added that the offence carries a provision of up to 1 year's imprisonment and a fine of up to 5,000 taka. Meanwhile, a tribunal won the cross-examination of the final witness of the Chief Investigating Officer, Muhammad Munirul Islam, was conducted in the case against former DMP Commissioner Habibur Rahman and 7 others over the killing of 6 people, including Mortas Anas, during the July mass uprising at Jankarpur in the capital. Following the Chief Investigating Officer's testimony, defense lawyers carried out the cross-examination for the second consecutive day. With this, the testimony of a total of 26 witnesses in the case has been completed. The remaining stages will be the presentation of arguments and finally the announcement of the verdict. In addition, in the case of the killing of 7 people, including the burning of 6 bodies during the July mass uprising in Australia, involving former MP Saiful Islam and 15 others, the International Crimes Tribunal 2 has scheduled the next hearing for December 2. The 3-member bench of Tribunal 2, led by Justice Nazrul Islam Chaudhuri, fixed the date today after concluding the 20th day of witness testimony. Today, the tribunal recorded the testimony of seizure list witness Sub-Inspector of Police Anisur Rahman. Earlier, on November 20, the statement and cross-examination of the case's approver witness, former police SI Sheikh Abdul Haq, were completed. 832 boris of gold jewelry were found in 2 lockers of Sheikh Hasina, a fugitive sentenced to death for crimes against humanity. The 2 lockers seized at Agroni Bank were opened in the presence of a magistrate on Tuesday with the permission of the court. This information was revealed by a senior official in charge of the National Board of Revenue (NBR). The NBR sources said the official of Anti-Corruption Commission ACC Bangladesh Bank and other relevant organizations were present at the time of opening the lockers. Sheikh Hasina had 2 lockers at the main branch of Agroni Bank located in Dilkusha in the capital. The NBR's Central Intelligence CIC seized the lockers last September on charges of tax evasion by concealing information about her assets. A top-level official of the CIC said that 2 lockers were open in accordance with the rules of Bangladesh Bank with the permission of the court. Now the seized gold jewelry will be compared with the asset declaration given in Sheikh Hasina's income tax return, the investigation allegation of tax evasion against Sheikh Hasina. On the other hand, the ACC is investigating allegation of illegal wealth acquisition and corruption against Sheikh Hasina and her family members. In the meantime, the court has ordered the freezing of bank accounts related to the Sheikh Hasina, her son Shajib Wajid Joy, daughter Saima Wajid Putul, sister Sheikh Rehana, following an application by the ACC. Agriculture and Home Affairs Advisor, retired Lieutenant General Mohammad Jahangir Alam Chaudhuri said there is no fertilizer shortage in the country and that there are sufficient stocks available. He said policies have been formulated regarding fertilizer and these policies will be followed in the supply and distribution process. He made these remarks while speaking to a journalist after an ADP review meeting at the Secretariat today. The Agriculture Advisor also said although importers are pressuring the government to allow onion imports, the government remains firm its decision not to import onions in order to protect interest of the farmers. He further informed that the appointment of superintendents of police has been categorized into 3 groups, A, B, and C, based on the law and order situation in different districts. He said after removing 18 previous SPS out of the total 64 districts, new SPS have been appointed to those positions and the remaining position posting have been made in various districts through a lottery. A week-long National Livestock Week has begun today to raise public awareness about livestock development, technology expansion, and safe food production. A planning advisor, Wahiduddin Mahmood, inaugurated the week as the chief guest at Bangladesh-China Friendship Exhibition Center in the capital today. For the first time, 15 individuals and organizations received awards for their contribution to the livestock sector. In a video message played at the ceremony, Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus emphasized the need to strengthen research and innovation in the sector. At the event, Fisheries and Livestock Advisor Farida Akhtar said the people must be made aware of livestock development, technology expansion, and safe food production. A planning advisor Wahiduddin Mahmood said, researchers in the livestock sector are working relentlessly and now efforts must focus on technological advancement. Later, the guests visited the exhibition. During the 7th National Livestock Week, awareness programs, discussions, seminars, workshops, and exhibition will be held. "85 members of the Bangladesh Navy have left Chattogram to participate in the UN peacekeeping mission UNIFIL in Lebanon. They left Chattogram Sharmana International Airport in the morning on a special flight. The naval members will join the naval ship BNS Shongbad, deployed in the Lebanon under Bangladesh contingent Bancon 16. On behalf of the Chattogram Naval Region, Chief Staff Officer Captain M. Ashraful Alam gave a formal farewell to the Lebanon-bound naval members at the airport. The senior officers of the Navy were present on the occasion. The members of the Bangladesh Navy have been performing their assigned duties with great sincerity, dedication, and efficiency for the last 15 years to establish war peace since their deployment in Lebanon in 2010. Mohammad Ghiasuddin, a resident of Urirchor in Shondip, had been making a scary journey by steamer from Shondip to Chattogram city for 35 years due to his job. But with the new ferry service being launched in the last 1 year, he can now travel comfortably even during the rainy season. Thousands of passengers from Shondip, like him, are now excited to travel comfortably. In the past, the main means of the communication with Shondip were speedboats and trawlers. Thousands of people often suffer due to unsafe journeys or closure of the ghats due to bad weather. Especially, there was a major obstacle in transporting sick patients and goods. Now, after the long days of sufferings and waiting, the passengers are getting a fast, safe, and comfortable travel experience. The new ferry service has also breathed new life into the local economy. Transportation of various goods, including agricultural products, dried fruits, dried fish from Shondip is now faster and easier. The traders are getting benefits in terms of both transportation, cost, and time. Despite the great interest of passengers, some challenges still remain in this route. It is necessary to ensure the fastest possible ferry berthing at the jetty and to further upgrade the connecting roads, especially in the jetty area. Now, international news. Israel said the Red Cross has handed over a set of human remains believed to belong to an Israeli captive held in Gaza. In a statement, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said, Israel has received via the Red Cross the coffin of a fallen hostage, which was handed over to Israeli soldiers and intelligence officers inside Gaza. The coffin was taken to the Tel Aviv's National Center of Forensic Medicine to determine whether the remains belong to one of the 3 remaining deceased captives still in the besieged Gaza Strip. Palestinian group Hamas has returned the bodies of 25 captives as part of the deal between Israel and Hamas, which took effect on October 10. In return, Israel has returned the bodies of 330 Palestinians killed in the war to the authorities in Gaza. Gaza's Health Ministry on Tuesday said Israeli forces killed 3 people east of Khan Yunis in the south. It said the bodies were brought to hospitals along with 14 others recovered from the rubble over the past 24 hours. The killings brought the death toll to 345 Palestinians since the ceasefire took effect, the ministry said. Meanwhile, the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has called on the international community to take a firm and consistent stance against Israel's action in Gaza, emphasizing the need for stronger diplomatic pressure and uninterrupted humanitarian aid access to Gaza. About Israeli breaches of the Gaza ceasefire, he said, Hamas is showing great patience in the face of all these provocations by Israel and is adhering to the ceasefire, adding that the full implementation of this ceasefire is essential. U.S. President Donald Trump's overseas envoy, Steve Witkoff, will hold talks at the Kremlin next week as the U.S. continues to push for a deal to end the war in Ukraine. The visit, which was confirmed by Vladimir Putin's close foreign policy aide Yuri Ushakov on Wednesday, comes after Ukraine said it had reached a common understanding with the White House on the outline of a potential peace deal. On Tuesday, Trump said he had tasked Witkoff to meet the Russian president while the U.S. Secretary of the Army Dan Driscoll was being sent to Ukraine. It follows the emergence last week of a 28-point draft plan, which the U.S. president said had since been fine-tuned with additional input from both sides. Speaking to reporters before the Kremlin confirmed the visit, Trump said his son-in-law Jared Kushner, who has acted as an advisor to the White House during previous diplomatic talks, may also attend the Kremlin meeting. He said an agreement would involve land concessions both ways and trying to clean up the border. Brazil's Supreme Court has ordered former President Jair Bolsonaro to begin serving his 27-year prison sentence after his defense team declined to file a second appeal. Justice Alexander de Moraes, a leading figure in the trial against Bolsonaro, made the announcement on Tuesday. The court indicated Bolsonaro would begin his sentence at the federal police headquarters in the capital, Brasilia, where he is currently being held. In September, Bolsonaro was convicted of plotting to stage a coup in order to retain power after his defeat in the 2022 presidential election. He was found guilty of trying to subvert the democratic rule of law, attempting a coup, participating in an armed conspiracy, causing damage to public property, and contributing to the deterioration of a listed national heritage site. He was sentenced to 27 years and 3 months in prison, but that sentence did not begin immediately to allow for appeals.